we represent more than 200 victims who were injured mentally, physically, and psychologically at the Astroworld Festival. Obviously, some of these victims have been catastrophically injured, who we represent, and fatally injured and are fighting for their lives. At the onset, we continue to ask for prayers for 9-year-old Ezra Blunt. We are praying for a miracle with his parents and his entire family at this time. This morning, we are announcing the filing of over 90 more lawsuits in this matter now that we have collected the information and the details and the evidence that they were present at the festival, that they sustained injuries at the festival, and that we will make sure that they get justice, because this should have never, ever happened. You're going to hear from several people this morning that is just symbolic of the number of people who we represent that were physically able to come and be here with us today. Some of them are not physically able to come. Some of them, for psychological reasons, are still haunted by what happened that night. As I told you, Attorney Hillard with Hillard, Martinez, and Gonzalez, based here in Texas. Attorney Darren Miller, based here in Houston, Texas. Attorney Ray Shackelford, based here in Houston, Texas. Marion Tolan and Charlie Jones from my office here are present. But most importantly, the people present with me are Ms. Gertrude Daughtry, who is seated here because she has severe injuries to her shoulders, her legs, her ankle, most prominent, and the fact that she was on the ground for 15 minutes struggling to breathe. You're going to hear from Rena Ihita, who is experiencing severe post-traumatic stress disorder after witnessing people right near her carried out on stretchers, as she also was caught up in the melee. You're going to hear from Dijon Isaac, who was trampled and stomped and had tried to help people who he saw on the ground. You're going to hear from Bryce Nunn, who may be a little delayed trying to find parking, but he has a dislocated knee and is on need crutches to walk. Miss Unica Smith is going to talk to you about how she was crushed, how after she fainted, and how she didn't know if she was going to make it or not, and how she continues to have the recurring nightmare of what happened. And let me, before Attorney Alex Hillard comes and talk to you about some of the details in the lawsuit that was drafted. This is not just about making sure we get justice for these people who have been severely injured. It is also about making sure that Live Nation and all of the organizers, promoters, and anybody else who had anything to do with the failure here that caused people to lose their children. I mean, families lost their high school children, their college children. People were injured greatly. And nobody should ever die from going to a concert. So this lawsuit is not just about getting justice for them, but it's about making sure that the promoters and the organizers know that you cannot allow this to ever happen in the future, even if you have to immediately stop the concert. And we understand, Attorney Hilliard, that There were several people who could have stopped this concert when we saw these tragic circumstances start to occur around the 9:05 time. And we have a timeline that breaks it down. And each and every one of them could have stopped the music, turned on the white hot spotlight board so everybody could see what's going on. Everybody could see who was on the ground. Everybody could see where everybody was at. And everybody could just take a breath. But they didn't do that. And that's what we are saying to Live Nation and everybody involved. In the future, safety must be paramount. As Kristen Blunt says so passionately, I thought it would be safe. I thought it would be safe. That's what all of them thought. They thought it would be safe. They never knew something that was supposed to be a great memory for them. They went with family and friends. They never fathomed that it would be the worst nightmare of their life, where they witnessed people be killed, where they witnessed people crying out in agony as they were trampled on and they were stepped on and they were crushed. They never thought they would be at the concert hearing people say something that we hear far too much now in the past year. People screaming, "I can't breathe." I mean, the videos are everywhere. And when you think about what we're asking people to do, if you were at the concert and you have video on your cell phone, please visit us at astroworld-festival-tragedy.com to share the videos with us. If you witnessed stuff, please call us. If you were injured, please call us. Because what we're trying to do is make sure we gather all the evidence so this will never happen again. Also, we sued on behalf of EB in part to get justice for him, but to also ensure that our independent experts could get on the scene of where the crimes took place and they could see for themselves what they described as a war zone. I mean, you had shoes, you had clothes, you had blood spots all out there at the scene. And that was important because it corroborated what our clients have told us, that they were just trying to get out of there. They left their clothes, they left their shoes, they left cell phones. And when you look at that scene, you see for yourself, people were literally fighting for their life just to try to get out of there. And so that's important, and the testimonial evidence is important. So if you have a story to let us know what happened so we can get to the answers of who failed in their responsibilities, because each and every one of them will be held accountable. And these brave victims are going to tell you what they witnessed, so other people hopefully will have the courage to come forward and tell their story. Right now, I have the honor of working with one of the best lawyers and law firms in America based here in Texas, Hillard, Martinez, and Gonzalez. Attorney Alex Hillard will talk about some of the details of our lawsuit. Then I'll introduce you to our clients. And then after that, we will have questions and answers so we can try to answer as many of them as we can. Attorney Alex Hillard.
The evidence in the investigation, which has been underway, including the inspection of the NRG Stadium, has revealed that the criminal behavior in this case started weeks prior to the date of the concert. There was no plan in place for this to happen. They are legally required as the organizers the risk directors, the security personnel to protect over 50,000 people, and they didn't have a plan. At 9 a.m. when the gates opened, everything was out of control. As soon as the first person gets injured, if there's no plan, chaos ensues. The chaos grew and grew and grew until multiple people, 10 confirmed now, lost their lives. Thousands of people injured and tens of thousands of people who had to witness as CPR was given to their friends, to their daughters, to their sons, to their young brothers and sisters as they finally escaped a suffocating crowd. Over 45 minutes of torture as they tried to escape, feeling trapped, feeling like they would lose their lives. I promise you, every story from each client is more tragic than the one before it. Because nobody can be trapped like that without oxygen, without any place to move. Combining that with seeing someone die right in front of your eyes. And when you finally do escape that war zone and you get out of that crowd, you see multiple bodies on the floor. The medical staff was egregiously short-staffed. They did not have enough personnel. They did not have enough stretchers. They did not have enough defibrillators to try to resuscitate all the people whose hearts weren't beating. We inspected the NRG Stadium where this concert took place. Our experts have confirmed from the evidence that was obtained that this concert never should have been approved in the first place. We are talking about the largest organizer and promoter of festivals and concerts in the world. And when that happens, a failure of epic proportions on this type of scale, it is criminal. It is nothing but criminal. They have a higher duty to protect the public. They sold $350, $400, $450 tickets and decided not to protect even one of their ticket holders. Sadly, a lot of our clients didn't even understand when they bought their ticket, because how could they, that they were actually buying their own death sentence. We are honored to be representing our clients in this case. And at this time, I'd like to introduce to you a few of them so you could hear their stories.
Key question though, you said 10 victims. Clarify, please.
9 victims, I apologize.
9. Let's stay right there.